Hello everybody and welcome. Today I'm doing the unboxing of the Power of Surrender cards from Judith Orloff. These are beautiful cards that I was called to pick up because there's a lot of people that I've been channeling for lately that it's been hard for them to surrender parts of themselves to their journey. And I think that's honestly a really important part of the journey. And Spirit said that it was time to get cards that specifically spoke of this. And I always ask Divine, what cards want to come in right now for the people that I channel for, to, make the messages that I channel clearer than, clearer for people online, or people that are watching me online. Sorry, I said online because of the app. But for the people who are watching me, as well as, to make my, my channels from Divine clearer, just for myself, so I can, intelligibly say something like that instead of trying to say it for 15 minutes and finally getting to a legible point. So they brought this deck in for me, and I really am excited to work with it. The booklet's pretty small, but that's okay. Not every booklet has to be big and giving a bunch of messages or giving extra messages. I think for certain the messages are sweet and simple, and I really enjoy that. I really love the backs of these decks. I hadn't seen the backs before or hadn't remembered them. And I just love that. Divine has been, I channel every day for both of my Instagram accounts. I have two of them. One that is for, I do like a collective tarot card, and then a collective crystal for the day, and then a collective message that's I'm sorry guys, channeled through my guides throughout the day. And then the other account is I do a divine feminine spread, a divine masculine spread, and I do more of a relationship centered channel, whether it's a relationship with somebody else or a relationship with yourself. And a lot of my channels lately have involved the sunrise, the sun, the sunset, bringing in those pictures of sun, which I'm not surprised because we just had the summer solstice. So even though I'm going to premiere this unboxing video later, I'm going to be using this card, this card deck as soon as possible. But I really love that the backs of it is what I've been channeling here lately, and that I was brought to these cards to help me better give out the message of Divine, the channeled messages that I get to people. So let's get through to the cards, or let's start going through the cards, and then we can do, Spirit is very excited for doing a reading here. I think that a lot of good things are going to come through. So my heart chakra is definitely activated. So we have surrender your, I'm reading these backwards, guys. So surrender your fear of intimacy. Beautiful card. I'm reading these backwards and upside down. So please forgive me. Oh, and guys, I've totally forgot to show you this. These are gilded. I love gilded decks. I didn't know that they were. It's like a special extra little gift when you get a gilded deck, and I absolutely love it. So first we have surrender your fear of intimacy. Surrender the ideal you can fix someone. Beautiful message. Very, very poignant and to the point. I know that this is already, these are cards that speak to me in my path, so I'm sure they speak to you as well. We have surrender to joy. Surrender to your full power. Beautiful card. Some of these cards are sticking together, but they're pretty easy to kind of push apart. But the feel of this deck is really good. It's a very, like, I love this size. This is like the perfect size of deck, guys. So surrender your belief in scarcity. This is a surrender your belief in lack. That's beautiful. Surrender your fear of change. I love these cards. Surrender Frustration. Beautiful. For those of you who are thinking about buying these, like, I already would highly suggest them. Surrender Comparison with Other People. Beautiful card. I don't think there's another one, even though it felt like there was one after it. Surrender to Creativity. Very important message there. Surrender the Drama. 100%, guys. Surrender to Inner Peace. Another 100% card. Surrender your desire to control people. Ooh, this is gonna be really good for my my relationship spreads. Surrender low self-esteem. Beautiful. I can see this coming in already for my empowerment spreads. Surrender to your intuition. Beautiful. Guys, I know I do a lot of pick a card readings here on my channel, but I do daily readings, weekly readings, and a lot of monthly readings, as well as relationship readings on my Patreon. So these are going to come in a lot for those. I can already see it. Surrender your attachment to results. I always pick decks that want to come in for the spreads that I do that want to come in. So I already feel this deck is going to be used again and again. Surrender to Success. This is important, guys. I'm glad that this card is in here, because sometimes it's not the fear of lack or the fear of scarcity or the fear of pain and grief. It's the fear of success that keeps us from the things that we desire the most. Surrender to the beauty of the natural world. Gorgeous card. Surrender to Spirit. Yes. I've had to do this multiple times in my life, and Spirit is saying that I'll have to do it again here by the end. But I have hopefully a many years to surrender again and again to Divine. Surrender to setting limits. Do you see her hand up in that stop motion? Big boundary card right there. We all need boundaries in our life. Surrender fear. Yes, please. Surrender to wisdom, to the wisdom of your body. This is a wonderful card, and this is something that I am currently working on myself. So very beautiful card. Surrender to complete healing. I love that these cards are very positive too, because these could be very like negative looking cards because of the emotions that are brought up, but they're not. I really enjoy that. Surrender to effortlessness. Beautiful card. Not every part of our path has to be a struggle, guys. Surrender to divine timing. Another thing I'm currently working on. I think a lot of us are right now. Surrender resentments. Beautiful. I love that this card has a lot of red in it, because we can get angry and we can get fearful, and fear and that anger comes from the root chakra. So beautiful card. So surrender that resentment. Surrender denial. Yes. Beautiful card. Yeah, that was one. Surrender your ego. I just did a reading for someone that was called to surrender their ego, that fake sense of self that they had. Beautiful card. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Yes, we need to move these out of our bodies, guys, out of our energy field. Surrender the habit of people pleasing. Many of us fall into this, so I absolutely love that these cards are very spot on to what I have been feeling lately, or I have been channeling for other people lately. Surrender obsessive thinking. 100%. Divine is laughing because they're like, yeah, that's a card for you, Ashley. We all get trapped in that thinking time and time again. It's recognizing it and getting ourselves out of it that helps us keep on moving on our path instead of staying stagnant. Surrender your need to always be right. I think we all fall into this, but me too. Surrender to passion. What a beautiful card. Beautiful message. Surrender to play. Yes. Sometimes we get caught up in our healing journey and we think that this journey is all about grief and pain, but it's not. It's about joy and happiness and play as well, guys. Surrender to rest and sleep. Oh my God, I need this so much. Like, this is me on a daily basis. Like, I need more sleep. I think it's the fact that, like, I'm not one of those people that turn channels on and off. No matter how hard I try, I was just built in a way that I constantly channel. It's just how my divine blueprint is. So for me, sometimes I get overly tired if I don't like do my self-care because I'm constantly bringing in information. Surrender to receiving support and love. Beautiful card. Again, this is something I've had to deal with time and time again on my path, because even though we live in cultures that say you should do it alone and that you're weak if you don't do it alone, the truth of the matter is that's only coming from ego. So we need that support from other people. We need that love from other people, in a healthy way. So if you don't have anybody healthy in your 3D, definitely get it from your guides, from spirit, from your angels, from anybody who is coming in for you from 5D and above. But, you have to surrender to that sometimes, to be connected to your higher self, because you can't be connected to the true version of you if you cannot connect with other people and you can't receive that love. If you can't receive love from you or from other people, you're not receiving it from yourself either. Surrender stress. Yes, please. Surrender to miracles. I love this, and I love that it's dolphins. Look at that, guys. Like, dolphins are miracles in themselves, and their magic and healing help us in so many tremendous ways. So I'm so glad that that's on there. Surrender to wonder and awe. Look how amazing that card is. I absolutely love artwork, if you guys haven't noticed. And the artwork in this deck is just blowing my mind. Surrender negative thinking. Oh yeah. I think out of all of my decks lately, this is going to be the most worn out. This and my empowerment deck. Surrender worry. 100%, guys. Surrender stubbornness. Oh yeah, I'm a Leo, so this is definitely something that path I walk down to, is surrendering that stubbornness at times. Surrender to what is. Yes. Living in that, in the situation that you're in now, instead of fighting it, helps you move on your path, helps you have that forward momentum in a solid foundation, but also in a positive way. If you're constantly fighting against things that are coming in for you in the here and now, and constantly in that grief and pain and not healing what's coming in and what is, if you're not satisfied with what is right now and constantly trying to change it, it's a lot of grief and pain that you don't have to feel if you don't want to. My hands are like burning up with that message. So guys, I'm probably not going to do pulls at the end of it, because I've been talking a lot about these cards intuitively. So guys, yeah, Divine is saying that, like, this is a huge message for a lot of you. Surrender to this now moment. A lot of you, I know, I've actually talked to a lot of people who are like, I'm just so unhappy now. When my healing happens, when this luck comes in for me, when this relationship starts for me, when my divine counterpart acknowledges me, I will be happy. And Divine is here to tell you that that's not how this path works. You can't live in the future. You have to live in now and be okay with what you have now. It might not be that grand plan you conceive that Divine has for you, but if we keep on fighting against it, if we keep on letting it trigger us, and we can't sit in that stability and balance of what we have and what is here in the now moment, we will never make it to that grand plan, because we will always be in what's the word, we will always be non-satisfied. We'll always just be grumpy with what we have. And if we're grumpy with what we have right now, divine is going to think that we're going to be grumpy with what's coming in for the future. So it's not going to bring it to us. That wasn't the best way to describe it, is what my spirit guides is telling me, guys. So I'm trying to backtrack. So here's the thing. It's not that it's not okay, give me a second. They're saying that if you're unsatisfied with the now moment, that's the vibration that you're giving out to the universe. So when you're unsatisfied with the now moment, the universe is going to stop bringing in what it was bringing in for you. You stop yourself on your path, you stop yourself in momentum, and you block yourself from what is going to happen in the future. What's going on in the now moment is meant for you guys. And it's meant for you at this time. They're talking a lot about divine timing. They're saying that future, that grand plan that you can see is coming in for you, guys. But not being satisfied with what is right now and not surrendering it to it, releasing that resistance, releasing those expectations will help you get into that grand plan. But not being happy or satisfied with what's going on right now stops your momentum, because you need to be in a place of positivity and a place of healing and understanding that what is coming in right now and what is right now is meant for you, whether it's a lesson or it's stability or it's rest or it's play or it's a trigger. Those are all coming in for you for a reason, guys. So trust in that divine plan and surrender to what is what divine is saying right now. Beautiful messages. Beautiful messages. I wasn't expecting to channel, so it took me a second, but I got what they wanted to say to you guys. Absolutely beautiful message. Let's see if any more come in. Surrender on unhealthy relationships 100%, especially for those of us here in the twin flame, soulmate, soul connection relationships. This can be a bigger thing, or not a bigger thing, the biggest thing in that comes in for us as a trigger, that the relationship is just not a healthy one. And they're not really meant to start out as healthy ones, is what divine says. They're meant to trigger us into healing and on both sides. So they're not necessarily meant to be perfect at the start, but it doesn't mean that it can't become good down the road. But both of you need to be willing and both of you need to do the work. So surrender the unhealthy parts of your connection and do the work for yourself and the healing for yourself, and surrender those unhealthy parts of the relationship that you have with yourself as well, guys. A lot of this, when it comes to your unhealthy relationship with others and yourself, they're saying a lot of that has to do with ego. Surrender procrastination. This is probably the best card for me in the deck because I like to procrastinate. Surrender to trust. Brilliant card. I've had to do this too a few times in my life, and it's always worked out for me. I had a little bit of anxiety saying that because it sounds like, oh, it's just that she trusted and it worked out perfectly. That's not what I'm saying. It wasn't a perfect thing, but I eventually got to that trust, and the more and more I was able to surrender to that trust, the more I was able to understand that everything that I want to manifest and desire will come into my life, the more trust I build with my higher self, with my relationship with divine, and my relationship with my guides as well. Surrender to non-action. So this is kind of the opposite of procrastination. So sometimes we need to act and we need to do so fast, but sometimes we need to rest and be patient is what Divine is saying. So surrender to non-action. Beautiful card. Surrender your addictions. 100%. I need this as well. I've been fortunate enough in my life where I've never really done the drug and alcohol addictions, but I definitely have been addicted to food, to a emotional, to doing things in an emotional like spin out and on the like with the outside of my life. So emotional shopping, emotional eating, that sort of thing. It all is it all comes down to that, but it all ends up being an addiction in the end. Oh, yes, is whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking. I'm definitely addicted to overworking sometimes too, guys. Take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. Beautiful card. Again, like Divine always likes to like remind us like things like working out can become an addiction too. So it's all about that balance within yourself and that moderation. Surrender defensiveness. Beautiful. I love her kimono. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's just gorgeous. Yes, it's a her. Surrender to the magic of who you are. Beautiful message. You guys are divine beings living a human life. So it's time that we all stand up and turn that knowledge into wisdom within ourselves. Surrender to prayer. And this doesn't mean like Christian prayer, Muslim prayer, Jewish prayer. This means however you choose to pray. When I go walk on the trail by my house in my town, I go to a certain point in the trail and I look up at the sun and I'll look out to the lake and up to the sky, and I give thanks to Gaia and to nature for it being there for me. Somebody's shooting off fireworks in my neighborhood, guys. Surrender to silence. Beautiful card. Sometimes we need that. Sometimes it's not more words that we need. It's the lack of them that we need. Surrender to your soul's path. I love that this is the last card in the deck, because how beautiful is that? It really sums up all the other cards here in this deck. Surrender to your soul's path. I just looked at my time and it said 22:22:2. So beautiful synchronicities there. Surrender to your soul's path, and no matter what that path is. Beautiful cards, guys. Again, I'm not going to do a draw here today because I think we've talked about the cards, these beautiful cards, a lot, and I know I will bring them out a lot in my spreads here on YouTube and my spreads on Patreon. So if you're not on Patreon, join me there. The link will be down below in the description box. But for those of you who are just on YouTube, that's great too. But I do again dailies, weekly videos that are separated between divine masculine and divine feminine energies. I do a lot of monthly spreads dealing with not only relationships but with empowerment, chakra clearing, and in depth about what's going on with your life here and now. So join me on Patreon for those. I will see you guys later and have a good one. Bye.